guys and guysses, welcome back to my channel TheTarative, and thank you for stopping by. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you the new jewellery which I've purchased for my stretch tongue piercing, as well as showing you guys me switching it over to the new jewellery. So before we get into the main part of the video, I would just like to mention, for those of you who are keen to see what I'm up to and what I'm getting up to in between posting here on YouTube, then do go and follow me over on Instagram, as I do post quite regularly in between posting videos here on YouTube. My username is TheTarative. It is spelt the same way as my username here on YouTube. So now into the main part of the video. As I mentioned, I have purchased some new jewellery for my stretch tongue piercing. My tongue piercing is currently 9mm in thickness, and I haven't actually stretched for over a year now. If you haven't seen my stretching videos and would like to check them out after this video, I will be leaving all the links to those videos in the description box down below, so go and check those out after this video. But for today, I'm just going to be changing over the jewellery, no stretching involved. Sorry for those of you who are disappointed. I do plan on continue stretching my tongue piercing. As I mentioned, it is 9mm right now. My goal size is 10mm, so currently I just have one more size to go to reach my goal size. However, I'm not sure when in the future that will be happening, but for now I'm just going to be putting new jewellery in. So I'll show you what I've got in at the moment. It is an internally threaded 9mm Delrin Barbell with flat-ended discs. So I'm just about to stick my tongue out to you guys. So for those of you who are offended, look away now. So you can see there's still quite a nice amount of room on there. It definitely doesn't dig in because of the length of the barbell. So as I mentioned, 9mm in thickness, and it is 16mm in length. Now you can see the ends on the top and the bottom are both rather flat, which is really good. It doesn't take up much room in my mouth whatsoever. Now I'm just about to show you the jewellery that I'm going to be putting in, and this is the new jewellery that I've got. So sorry, it's a little bit hard to see. Once I remove it from this little plastic sleeve, you'll be able to see it a lot more easily. Now it's actually very similar to the jewellery that I'm wearing at the moment. It's still 9mm in thickness, 16mm in length, but you will be able to see the ends aren't as flat as they are right now. Now for those of you interested, I did actually do a more in-depth review video on the piece of jewellery that I'm wearing at the moment. It was custom made by StoneWolf Adornments. Again, I'll be leaving the link to his site down below and also his Instagram page as well. But he did make this one for me, and also he did make this one for me as well. Now they were both £27.50, they were the same price, and then I paid about £3 or so for potion packaging. So some people might think it's a little bit expensive, but actually for custom made jewellery, that is a really reasonable price. Now, as I mentioned, it is made out of Delrin, so that's not a metal. However, it is autoclavable, and it's really good because it's soft if it were to hit your teeth. Luckily, my tongue piercing is pierced in a position where it doesn't actually clash with teeth, so that's not a problem for me, but it would be kind to your teeth if it were to clash with them. So you might be thinking, well, why are you going from something that's quite nice and flat and doesn't take up much room in your mouth to something that has much more rounded edges? Well, I don't know if you saw, I'll show you again, but the top disc, even though the length of the jewellery is fine, when I have my mouth closed, the jewellery does get pushed upon by the roof of my mouth, and it makes it sink into my tongue a little bit. Now, because of how the flat discs are, even though they have relatively smooth edges, they're not as rounded as this particular barbell, and so it does dig into the top of my tongue piercing. More so on the right hand side, it digs into my tongue a little bit, and even though it's not really causing discomfort, it has every now and again caused a little bit of discomfort, but not for very long, otherwise I would have removed it. But every now and again it just sinks in, it digs in, and I'd rather have something that when it does get pushed down by the roof of my mouth, it's just a little bit smoother on the underside. Also as well, because of how this jewellery is made, sometimes it does attract food on the underside of the tongue piercing. Now obviously I clean my teeth twice a day, and so I clean the jewellery out, that's not a problem, and after I eat as well, I generally do have some water and just swish that around, which does loosen up any material under there, but this is a bit more rounded and so should help prevent that happening a little bit more. So again, I'm just going to show you what my tongue looks like. So you can see there's a little bit of a delve in my tongue. Now it looks a little bit red, but to be honest, in reality, it's not that red. As I said, it's not sore or anything. However, I have in the past noticed, and I can't remember when it was a little while ago, it did create a slight little ulcer over one sort of period of time where it had dug in at the back a little bit more. And again, I just want to prevent that from happening in the future. I want my tongue piercing as healthy and as healed as possible before I stretch it again. So hence the new jewellery. Now, I just want to show you the packaging it comes in because it's actually really, really cute. I really like it. It's really nice. It's really nice and simple. It's got his website on the front there, and this is the same type of little case that my other one came in. But yes, I just really like the casing. So I am going to remove this and I am just going to take this out. So the reason why it's in this little package is because it has been sterilised in an autoclave, and that's why it's in here. So currently completely sterile. I have washed my hands thoroughly with antibacterial soap before I'm about to undo this. So this is what the new barbell looks like. So you can see a lot more rounded. Now, like with this jewellery, one end is fixed, so this bottom part is fixed, and the top bit is the bit that unscrews, and it is internally threaded, which I'll just show you what I mean by internally threaded. And the nice thing with this is, like with the tongue bar that I've got in at the moment, is that it's got a really nice long thread to it. So if it were starting to unscrew in your mouth, you would have plenty of time to notice before having a mishap of swallowing the top little bit. But that is what it looks like. It's when the thread is on the little end and it screws into the barbell rather than onto the barbell. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. I've just got a towel below. That's the reason why I'm looking down. And when I'm actually changing the jewellery over, you will notice me just stare above. Again, it's just because there's a mirror directly behind you guys. But I'm just going to remove it, show you what my tongue piercing looks like, and then put the new jewellery in and give my first impressions of how I feel with having the slightly larger ends on there. Always feels weird when I remove it. So this is what the flat end looks like. As you can see, fixed flat end and a very flat end there. Now I don't know if you can see, but when I hold this bit, so it is quite nice and smooth on the edges. However, the bottom part is not as rounded as the top half, and that's what I find actually does dig in the back to the right of my tongue piercing. So this is what I look like. So it's a little bit hard to see. It's not the most attractive thing when you don't have the jewellery in, especially because it does dig in a little bit, so the top bit is a little bit more sore looking than it would be. And I'm just going to put this new barbell in, and again, just giving you my first impressions. So again, really nice rounded smooth edge, so when I put it in my tongue piercing, it should be nice and comfortable. And again, it's just got the slightly larger end there and the ball on top. So I'm just going to be staring off to the corner for a second. Okay, so it does feel a lot bigger. Now, I used to actually have barbells with larger balls on, so it'll just be getting back into the swing of having this. I sound a little bit lispy at the moment, but again, that is just because I'm getting used to the slightly larger discs or balls on there. This is what it looks like at the moment. Sorry, I did produce a bit more saliva when I change over jewellery. But yeah, so I think it'll probably take a day or two to get used to wearing this larger jewellery. If I find that actually it's a little bit annoying and I do find that I'm lisping still, then I might switch back to the other one. But I have to say, first impression straight away, really nice and easy to put it in, as I mentioned. Really nice long thread on there still. That's why it took a little bit longer for me to screw it on, and it feels really smooth. It definitely, even if I have my tongue pushed up against the roof of my mouth, like so, because it's nice and smooth and rounded on the underneath side of this top disc, it's actually really comfortable. So yes, definitely so far so good. I think it will just take me a day or two to get used to wearing the slightly larger ends in there again. As I mentioned, when I had my tongue piercing smaller sizes, so at 8mm, 7, 6, etc, etc, the balls were actually quite large, and so it's not too abnormal for me to wear the larger balls on there, but it's just getting used to that again compared to the flat-ended discs of this jewellery right here. So far so good. As I said, I really do like it. It's nice and comfortable so far. So 10 out of 10 thus far. I might do an update video in the future if I feel like any opinions have changed on this piece of jewellery, but thank you to StoneWolf Adornments again for making a really nice high quality piece of jewellery that's actually really reasonably priced. As I mentioned, he is on Instagram and also he does have a website. I'll be leaving the links in the description box down below for those. I'm not sponsored by him whatsoever. I have paid for this jewellery out of my own money, but when I find a nice piece of jewellery, especially for the awkward in-between sizes such as 9mm, I do like to share it with you guys. For those of you who are either interested in stretching tongue piercings or other piercings, he does custom make them, and therefore the pros of that are that you can request the thickness and the length that you need, even if it is an awkward in-between size such as 7mm or 9mm, etc, etc. So one last look about this new jewellery. Just showing you all possible different angles just so you can see it thoroughly. As I said, I really like this. I'm sorry that it wasn't a stretching video, but I thought since I was getting a new piece of jewellery, for those of you interested to see what my tongue piercing looks like without jewellery in, and also just to see the new piece of jewellery in there, as well as just seeing what it's like to change over tongue piercing jewellery, I just thought I'd make a video for those of you who are interested. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions relating to my tongue piercing or stretching in general, then please ask away in the comments below. As I mentioned in previous videos, I am planning on posting more regularly. I am trying to aim for one video a week, but at least every other week if I can do. So if you aren't already but would like to see more videos from me in the future, then remember to hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys very shortly. Bye for now.